Well, hello again, everyone. It's Nick Michalak and Steve Frazier.
Who are you? Hi.
Nick Michalak and Steve. It's been a long day.
That's all right. This
is Nick and Steve.
We're having a great time already.
Make it easy for us. But guys, after some, I guess there's people requested, it's kind of a thing. We're starting some Final Destination commentaries for you.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different franchise in a way.
Yeah.
New stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I like it.
From old friends at New Line Cinema.
Oh, who give us subtitles.
Yes.
So cue up your subtitles.
Yes.
And hit that mute button, and we'll give you a countdown here in a second.
Yes, indeed. So, guys, as always, we'll give you a little countdown so we can all sync up and be in line with everyone else. So, in 3, 2, 1, we're going to hit play. So, let's start out with 3, 2, 1, play. Like I said, it's been a long day for me, so.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. Oh, New Line, our old friends.
Yes. In the New Line in the new millennium.
Yeah, this was what, 2000 maybe?
Yes.
2000.
March of 2000.
I remember it well. I saw it for free. That was my movie theater days. And, you know, like you were saying, this is something completely different. Like,
yeah.
It was something kind of brand new. I mean, I guess nothing is new, right? You know, like there's never really a new idea, but it was
new
a new
spin on
right on a
familiar elements.
Right, new trick for an old dog, I guess.
Yeah.
Some great imagery. Devon Sawa, who I still hold a grudge against because
why?
after 30 years, because when growing up I had the biggest crush on Christina Ricci.
Okay.
And I believe that they dated, and you know, had intimate things happen between them, and I was jealous.
Weren't we all?
Yeah. So, you know, I'm still holding on to that grudge 30 years later, or whatever it's been, 20 years later. Oh, dear. I digress.
Yeah.
France. You ever been out of the country?
Never.
No?
I've been to Florida.
Okay. Well, parts of Florida feel like out of the country, I suppose. Especially in the northern part.
And we were in Orlando.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But it appears that these people are going to France.
Yes, indeed.
Based on the imagery that we're being shown right now.
Yeah.
I've never been to France. I did take a plane ride to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
That was long.
Not sure it was.
Yeah.
You know, got a credit for Shirley Walker here, who's passed away, but she regularly conducted scores for Danny Elfman.
Okay.
Did the music for Batman the Animated Series. So
that's right up your alley.
She has a nice legacy left behind.
Sure.
And I know you're not a sci-fi guy or anything.
I'm really not.
But basically the screenwriters and director came from the X-Files before this and kind of pitched this idea as an episode of the X-Files, but never really got into the circulation of scripts and everything to get produced.
I've seen episodes, a few. I mean, like, I count them on one hand, few.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed the ones that I've seen.
Yeah, you get the feel for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down. And then old James Wong.
Yeah. Which not to be confused with James Wan.
Right. There's a Pecker movie poster, and guess who is the star of Pecker? Christina Ricci. Fuck you, Devon Sawa.
Was it a John Waters film?
I don't know. All I know is this guy got my girl. I hate him.
Before she had the reduction done.
Yeah. He's a good-looking guy. That's fine. He's better looking than I am.
I haven't seen him in a while, so maybe you.
Well, I mean,
maybe
he's taking a turn for the worst.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember the last thing I saw him in. So
it might have been this. Let's see. So we've got a Blu-ray copy here, which is looking pretty good.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. I mean, most horror films kind of want to start you off with something a little bit more.
A bang?
Yeah, a little more punch and whatnot. This one's really kind of just easing you into the atmosphere.
It had that real ominous opening credit sequence. Yeah. One of those where, like, if you go back and now that you know the secrets, you can kind of pick up on little things in there, but
unknowing foreshadowing of
right. But either way, I mean, you've kind of they did that hard close up on his eyes as if like maybe he was thinking something. Yeah. I don't know. That's scary. 180. I can't imagine ever. I mean, granted, this was almost 20 years ago, but still, the legal complications that would come from taking high school students on an airplane across the pond.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's
way too many entanglements.
Yeah, there's too many variables there, I think.
And this was in 2000. If you produced this 2 years later, you'd be much different.
Yeah.
In fact, this movie wouldn't happen the way it does.
No.
2 years later. By no means.
Yeah, this was... talk about foreshadowing. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
So not.
Those Arabs were American movie fans. And they liked their horror. Mm-hmm. I can't even imagine, like, a class trip on an airplane.
Especially being in high school and knowing the social interaction.
Right.
It's basically like everyone's kind of an asshole. 90% of people are an asshole.
Right.
And you got this one or two teachers got to deal with all these kids.
And the French think we're all assholes. So
we probably are.
Well, yeah. Especially the two of us. Look at this look.
Yeah.
He's got like a skullet.
He's in this airplane terminal way too damn long if he's looking like that.
It was about 1 year later that I took my trip to Australia, so don't think that this didn't weigh on me. And it's interesting. I like this idea of if you are looking for something, you can find it.
Yeah.
You know, he's foreshadowing, right? Yeah. He's seeing all these signs of like, oh, this could be something fishy, or here's a little something that's not right.
Yeah, the hinky stuff.
Yeah. And again, little things like that.
Yeah.
Hyper awareness, I guess, is what it is.
Borderline paranoia.
Sure.
Which is interesting to kind of sliver into this whole thing, if that's the right term for it. That teacher's pretty hot.
Yeah, I guess, Well, see, this is why you can't leave 17-year-olds alone in the airport.
Yeah.
And what's her name here? Is it
Allie
Larter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always kind of dug her. Oh, there's Di and what was his name? Dodi Fayed? Is that something? Dodi? I don't know. The boyfriend?
Yeah. I think Allie Larter was just in, before this, was in the remake of House on Haunted Hill with Jeffrey Rush and Patrick Hansen. It's kind of interesting because she looks a little slightly older in that film, but they can kind of make her look more...
I always felt like she looked older than the rest of the kids in this one.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, as the film progresses, she definitely shows a lot more kind of a maturity, I think, in her performance.
Yeah, especially, later on.
A little hardened, a little tougher. She's not vapid like these girls probably are or something.
They really have kind of covered all of the high school stereotypes here, which I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a fine line to work with those types of things. Like either it's like very stereotypical and it's kind of annoying, or you have to sprinkle it in just the right way with the right performance to get something out of it.
Are you telling me that he takes a dump with his pants in that position? Like, that's clearly, this kid doesn't want to show his dong on a movie set, right? Like, no man takes a dump with his boxer briefs around his knees. Okay? Like, that just doesn't happen. I like the close-ups.
Yeah.
I think the close-ups are cool. And I will say that they've tapped into, excuse me, the fear of flying, which a lot of people have anyway. Mm-hmm. And so really, they're just pointing out all the stuff that would make a normal person, like, make their skin crawl.
Yeah, they're making it very twitchy.
Yeah. And, you know, like that.
Yeah.
You're like, what caused that?
Yeah.
Is this airplane safe?
The 8-inch
is
gap
any airplane
between the...
I still don't understand how an airplane works. They've been around for 100 years. It's like Bernoulli's principle or something with air pressure. I have no idea.
I don't know.
I have no idea. Doesn't make any sense to me, but you know what? Whatever. The last time I was on one, it went up, it went down, everything was fine.
Yes.
I think I was in the last row also.
Oh.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did not turn the air on, though. So, there's this whole, like, switching seats thing. Like, this is a thing.
Yeah.
And I never, like, just sit where you're assigned. That drives me nuts.
It's like a movie theater.
Or a concert, and people are, or a sporting event, and they're like, oh, nobody's sitting in this seat, I'll just sit there. No! Fucking sit where you were assigned.
I remember a concert, I don't know, it was Ozfest or what the hell it was. This one guy we encountered and whatnot, he just had this plan of just kind of leaping from one row to the next throughout the entire night or whatever. Like, I'm going to get up there.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Well, I mean, I've had my share of being in the front row or, you know, up in the front and having to ward off those folks coming from behind. And you got to get a little elbow in there or something. Anyway,
whack him with a stick.
Yep. I literally
whack him with a couple sticks.
Oh, see, I see what you did there. I literally picked a woman up one time and turned her around and moved her because her seat was in the back of the theater and my seat was in the front row, and she thought she was an equal to me.
It's like, God, there's about $60 difference here. Come on.
Yeah. I was like, nope. Boy, we really got in the weeds there for a minute, didn't we? Anyway.
Well, like I said, slow build. We'll
yeah, you're right.
get it out of the way.
All they've done here is build this paranoia, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's just keep showing you shots of things that make him uneasy, and he's getting sweatier, and the lights are flickering.
Yeah. Slight bit like the Twilight Zone episode, William Shatner, or the one in the movie with Lithgow, with the creature on the wing thing.
Oh, yeah. Or in Freddy's Dead with Freddy on the wing. Which also had, like, ominous, like, light, you know, the lights flickering. And, like, this shit doesn't happen on an airplane. Like, occasionally they turn the light off.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a thing.
Yeah. Tend to take a snooze.
So, the takeoff portion has always been the scariest part for me. And a lot of people don't like the landing, which I think is weird because you're getting closer and closer to the ground, so your odds of surviving are getting better and better with each moment,
Okay.
as opposed to the takeoff when you're getting further and further away.
It's like...
And of course, all I can think about is this goddamn movie. Are we suddenly going to explode here in the next 30 seconds? I mean, this is like hardcore right here.
Yeah.
Like, this is scary. The whoppers rolling around on the floor there. And also, great camera work, great lighting.
Yeah.
Chances are, like, this is one of those rigged things, almost
big
like
old
a
gimbal type of thing, hydraulics going off.
Right. So they're just rocking back and forth like at a theme park.
Oh yeah.
And there goes
Special
the oxygen.
effects kick in.
And then there goes row 21. See ya. But I mean, these are some good special effects, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that looks like she flew out of the airplane.
Yeah.
And there go the whoppers. And the luggage hitting the people in the back of the head.
The carry-on luggage.
None of the airbags are actually like lit up.
Oh, there goes the blood.
Yeah, somebody exploded and melty. And it was all a dream. Roll credits. Well, he's really worked up a full grease there, didn't he? Now, this is actually more terrifying, really.
Yeah.
Right?
The whole premonition thing, I mean, film won't work so much, really won't work much without it, but just, it creates a great thing for the protagonist of the franchise for each film to really deal with. Because he makes him completely loony, and kind of thing we've talked about in other things like this person doesn't believe you because you're talking about weird supernatural nonsense stuff.
Sure.
But
and here our heroine says, "You know what?
Fuck off! I'm getting off
that was
this
a little too real for me.
Yeah.
I'll catch the next one.
Yeah. I'll take the slow boat.
That's slow boat to China." And this, I mean, you're so right. Like, if this movie comes out a year and a half later, it doesn't come out, for one.
Yeah.
And, like, oh my God. They're just, what a different world we live in.
Yeah. I mean, one, they wouldn't just be let go or whatnot. There'd be interrogations and questions for days on end. They wouldn't be going home anytime soon.
I mean, if somebody stands up on a plane and says this plane's going to explode.
Yeah, you're going away.
You get arrested.
Yeah, you're getting arrested. You're going in a small room for a long time. You get background checks. Quiet room. Yeah.
Great camera shot there. Just the nose of the plane. I feel like even at this... I see now, I don't really remember what life was like pre-9/11 because I only flew a couple of times, but I still feel like there would be some sort of security investigation.
Protocol. Yeah. So just like, you take them off the plane, just leave them here with no supervision, really. I mean, yeah, the cop's over there, but he's got his back to him. He's not really watching him. They could just dart off if there was something sinister involved with what they're doing.
I will say in their defense here, they're all going to leave on the next flight.
Well, yeah.
You know, so they're still planning on going.
Because this day and age, well, more or less even then, you wouldn't think that the cops would just be standing there kind of casually with their backs to them. They'd be a little bit more intently focused on.
And here comes one of my favorite shots of the whole movie, right here.
Yeah. That's good.
Like, holy
Yeah.
shit. Holy shit. Right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just think of what's going through his mind right now. He's freaked the hell out more than anyone else here. Because he saw it.
Right. And now all these people are like, oh, now I owe you my life. And all of my friends just died. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine what kind of a mindfuck this would be?
Oh,
like,
fuck all.
Like, if I took 30 of my friends and put them on a plane, and then 5 of them got off, and the other 25 died, like that would mess me up so bad. I mean, not saying that he's friends with everyone on the plane.
Yeah.
But acquaintances.
Yeah. And everyone's giving him the eye.
Well, and you're right.
Because they're like, what the fuck is going on?
And there he says that you're looking at me like it was his fault. Mm-hmm. And what a great setup for a story. Because he's got guilt. Everyone's looking at him.
They don't know what to make of anything.
They're conflicted because like they're alive and they shouldn't be, but at the same time, like, what's with this creepy dude who can predict the future?
Yeah.
She's so pretty.
Oh yeah, she still looks great today.
I think she's around our age, right?
I think so, roughly, yeah.
Which would make her about 20 or so at the time that this movie came out.
We can double check.
Spiritual counseling, that's right. Are there any survivors? Did you see what happened?
And she was born in 76, so...
Oh, she's significantly older than us by several years.
4 years, yeah. Strangely enough, she's almost exactly 4 years older than I am. She was born on February 28th, 76.
Oh.
She missed the special day by...
A day. Right, because you're a leap year.
Technically, yeah, and exactly one day would have been a leap year.
Yeah. Yeah, she dodged a bullet, because...
She dodged a damn
because you're only like, what, 6, 7? Right.
I'm not old enough to be watching this movie right now.
Oh. No, I think you're pushing 10. You're almost 10.
Oh, yippee. I can start staying up late now. Almost.
Oh.
No idea the hell this
Do you celebrate on the 28th or the 1st?
Both.
Oh, look at you. Aren't you fancy?
Because why not? Whatever's convenient.
Okay. Because I know, I actually know somebody else in my life that has the leap year, and he operates out of the 1st as is his birthday. So, boy, here we've gone off the deep end here again. What time does it say that? Is that 10:15 or yeah, because that's 40 after 10 there. All right.
Yeah. That's a nice bit of continuity there.
Sure.
If you're going to put the clock in the shot, might as well have some
change it up, right?
Sensibility about it. Yeah.
Clocks are hard. Like, you really have to pay attention when you have a clock in a room.
Oh, yeah.
And here they're doing a good job of advancing it to show you the succession.
20, 30 minutes at a time for each interrogation.
I guess they did need a minute for, like, TSA or the FBI or whoever these people are to get
FBI.
here. And, she's had to wait a whole hour since Alex's interview. 76, wow. That makes her, like, 24 here, give or take. And playing a high school student. Can you imagine the parental situation here?
Hearing it on the news and not getting informed yet.
Right.
And then getting that, that's twisting it all up over around.
Like, I always thought that this was a great scene to have in... Like, it really shows an emotional... Nice. And then, the little absence.
Thing where it clears... she's got no one.
No one.
No one comes looking for
she's taking a cab? Or she's getting a ride from him.
Yeah.
All right. Like, this is the worst day of her life at this point. and there's no one there.
Yeah. And it's nice storytelling. It's like you don't have to say anything; you just show it.
That's really the best. Pictures are worth 1,000 words.
You're on a visual medium. Make use of that. When you got this scene of everyone and you see the reaction, and she's been kind of like this sort of off to the side character, not really interacting with anyone.
Like a loner.
Yeah. A little introverted in a way.
Right. Yeah, not a loner in the, like, everyone stay away from that girl because she's weird loner. Man, I just can't even imagine.
Yeah, I mean,
of all the scenarios that the franchise sets up for, devastating death at the beginning, this one is really the most traumatic. Like, the other ones are just kind of accidents, and they're scary and awful, but this one is, like, for real terror.
Yeah. And I was just thinking that when you got Sawa's character walking into his bedroom, it's like, you almost got to think like his character feels like he's living in this kind of like surreal environment. It's like, don't feel like I'm supposed to be here. Imagine walking around in a world like you feel like you should be a ghost, but you're not. Yeah.
287 there were not 287 people on that plane, but whatever. That's fine.
Well, yeah, because it's not that. Not a whole lot of staff on a plane. I'll be honest.
And it wasn't like a double decker, I don't think. Anyway, we're nitpicking.
I think they said it was 747,
which was maybe the biggest at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, the old NTSB. I mean, this dude is messed up for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And of course, he continues to have this suspicious nature.
Yeah.
Much like me, he's very observant. And to even have lightning scare you, like...
Yeah. I mean, internally, the character just probably can't help feeling there is some kind of force swirling around him at this point. Before anything more happens, overall, he feels like there's just something way out of line here. Everything that's going on around him.
And then, of course, we take that turn where it is kind of a supernatural force. At this point, there's really, aside from, premonition, there isn't anything like supernatural about it.
Conscience, a conscious entity of sorts. An intelligence at work of some sort. This is when we get to the Tony Todd scene, so we'll wait there.
That's a hell of a statue. Good chemistry between the two.
Yeah. I like how when we're looking at the shot on Kurt Smith, whatnot, it's like, he's kind of the character's like, you need someone to blame for something, and there's no nothing else but this one guy here just had this weird thing happen to him. It has to direct whatever it's feeling at someone somehow, and that's a great thing because each one of these characters kind of confronts it and doesn't confront it in different ways and tries to cope with it somehow.
I love a good asshole character. Is that woman singing and playing a 12-string guitar in the background? Is that what's happening right now?
It might as well.
And he was so typecast in this era.
Yeah, because American Pie.
Right, and he basically played the same person here, and then in all of the other American Pies.
Yeah. Then he finally got a job on the Lethal Weapon series, then Damon Wayans quit, and now there's no more series.
Which is probably for the better, if we're speaking the truth. And his name is Billy. Billy is such a little boy name, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? And now, like, that's what an interesting take.
Yeah.
Because he's looking at the teacher like,
look up to someone who might be able to
be on
cope with the situation.
His side, right?
Yeah. I mean, one character just flat out angry with him, got to direct the anger somewhere. Someone just like freaked out, and people like him, his best friend, doesn't know really how to approach it at all.
Here's an interesting poll question. Do you like the buttons on the collar? Because I don't.
I never wear one like that.
I always feel like it's less formal.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer a no button collar.
Yeah. I think these days I think the idea is cleaner the better.
Yeah. I mean, those were trendy for a while, and I'm not saying I haven't owned some, because I've definitely worn a few in my day, back in when I had to wear a shirt and tie every day, but she is very attractive.
Yeah.
And she's the first one who has acknowledged him in that way.
As a human being, instead of some weird aberration of fate. Because obviously what we're seeing of her character so far, that she can relate to people looking at you awkwardly, or being kind of this disconnected person from the rest of society.
Yeah, like a misfit or an outcast.
Yeah, so she can...
Outcasts unite like a magnet.
Yeah, so she's very much empathizing with his situation, because it, from her perception, is very much how she's dealt with things.
Oof. There's some wallpaper for you. Floral wallpaper with a floral curtain. Ugh. No bueno. Oh, and a starfish on the...
seashells.
Seashells on the curtain, on the shower curtain. This is... Who dressed this set? An ominous wind. I had some ominous wind a couple hours ago. I mean, the color schemes all work, that green and yellow. I like a good green and yellow, as you know.
Another...
Hold on. Oh, no, he depanted all the way. He's just... They got around it with a long shirt. And here's our first taste of Supernatural.
Yeah. And nice how, again, just the subtlety works so well. It's not like... this death entity of whatnot is going to strike out and do something so blatant or whatnot.
Right.
It has to seem somewhat
There isn't a Grim
whatnot.
Reaper that comes out of the closet.
Yeah.
Right. And meanwhile, he's gone full investigative reporter.
Super detective.
Here. Yeah. Which I like. I mean, I've always been a sucker for, in a movie, when somebody goes and does, has like clippings on the wall and lines and circles and, connecting dots and Post-it notes and old newspaper clippings. I'm a sucker for that. And he's got his old computer. See now, there's my guy.
Get your mind off things. He's reading the articles, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody knows that it's all about the articles. And got some Selsun Blue toilet water there. And, are you a blade guy or a electric?
I used to be electric, but like I went to blades because like they actually do their job.
I've always done electric. I've never done the blades. And
I guess it's probably mainly because I kind of only like shave like 2 or 3 times a week at most.
Okay.
So just more efficient to just kind of do that if I've got a few days stubble.
Sure.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, get in there.
Get up to the wrist, man. Get a couple knuckles.
So, I like, and one of the things that has been very great about this series is that they cock tease you.
Oh yeah.
Throughout, like, oh, this is. I gotta look at the titties. Is that? Hold on.
There we go.
See, you get titties, and then you get a funeral article, and then you got to put it away.
Yeah.
Why are they just owls?
Spooky
Random?
owls.
They're harbingers of death, right?
I think so.
I think that's the insinuation there.
Keep looking at that FedEx box back there. Is Tom Hanks going to show up?
That was also 2000, wasn't it? Yeah,
so.
It was. Christmas time. They do a great job, as I was saying, about like making you think that it's going to be one way. And ow.
Ow.
And that would hurt a little, I think. And then he's got the shampoo and the conditioner. Conditioner makes it silky and smooth. And the blood.
Nice,
this is great. Rubber ducky, you're the one. How terrifying would this be? I mean, and there's your out, and you can't reach it because of the conditioner.
An extra 4 feet away from you.
Well, that's not 4 feet.
No.
A good 4 inches. The toe curling. I mean, this is so well done.
Yeah.
So well done. And guess what that looks like?
Yeah. And there's our further hint of things, that things are not accidental. There is an intent involved from whatever is at work here.
Right, because now it clearly looks like he just hung himself in the bathtub. Which I don't know would also play very well in now.
No.
Like, you know what I mean?
No.
It's so hot button right now, suicide.
Yeah.
You can't blow up a plane. You can't hang yourself. Man, it's so hard to make a movie now.
We're talking about blowing up planes in about a month or so with Die Hard 2.
Yep. Die Hard 2 coming soon, guys.
Yeah,
good old-fashioned terrorism.
That's definitely a film you couldn't do today. Die Hard 2. We'll get there. Oh.
And now, here's more blame. Oh, this is good.
Just starts making him this pariah of the entire freaking town.
And the whole, like, cinching the body bag, like, that's a little over the top. They spell Wagner with 2 G's. That's weird. And these are those FBI or NTSB people. Like, how are they on the scene already? Like, that's weird, right?
A little bit. I mean, there's a slight bit of ambiguity about how much time has passed, but...
And here's our Forrest Gump shot here with the... It's a puppy?
It's a big one.
And I never really understood that her name was Clear.
Clear Rivers.
Like a hippie name, Clear Rivers.
Well, I think that's what she ends up alluding to. Yeah.
Because they never say it in such a distinct manner that makes you distinguish it from Claire. So I the first 3 times I watched it, I think maybe it wasn't until I read the credits, or I don't know.
Yeah.
She's definitely a tomboy here.
Oh, yeah.
Your regular Freddy's Workshop here. And then it really makes you wonder, does she own this home if she doesn't have a parent?
Yeah.
She's 18, maybe. Is this even legal? If she's 17?
Yeah.
To live on her own? And make this Springhead Man? I mean, her stuff is cool. The whoever artist put this stuff together
This is her stuff, yeah. This is her representation of him.
Right, but I'm saying the production design team who built
behind the scenes.
Right, who built this stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
They had a little connection there.
Yeah.
I imagine they had a much smaller class than, you or I did.
Yeah.
My graduating class was over 800 people.
Yeah, I don't know what mine was, but it was a long ceremony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, had our graduation at the Rialto Theater in Joliet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was kind of classy.
Yeah, I imagine so.
It was kind of interesting because a few months after we had our ceremony there, the movie Kevin Bacon film Stir of Echoes actually filmed in the Rialto Theater for that.
Oh, okay.
Because they had a whole dream sequence there. I always found that great when I ended up seeing it the next year.
I don't remember I just watched the movie not all that long ago, and I don't remember that specific scene. But...
Well, because there's a point in the film where he gets hypnotized again. He's got to start visualizing. Ileana Douglas kind of hypnotizes him again.
Right,
he goes to sleep, and there's this movie screen that he ends up seeing images on. So,
can we talk about how this business of caskets is so out of control? The way people. They charge you $10,000 for this wooden box or whatever it is. Funerals are fucking expensive. And why? I think it would be cool to kind of hang out in a funeral home, though.
They're classy joints.
Usually, yeah. Yeah. A lot of times they're, the older ones were made out of, converted old homes or old churches or old, which I guess probably dates back to, way back when, the coroner was, the guy's house on the corner.
Yeah.
And...
Some good makeup there.
Great makeup.
There we go.
T squared.
I absolutely love Tony Todd. He's a fantastic actor.
You ever seen him in person at one of the conventions?
I haven't met him. I've kind of walked past his
stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I've never actually taken the time to hand him a 20 and have him autograph anything. But he's a very tall man. The voice is intimidating. It's iconic.
Yeah, but because a couple years ago I sat in on a panel for The Crow or whatnot. It was just him, Ernie Hudson, and Michael Massey.
I love Ernie Hudson.
Now. But those guys were there, so at least I sat in on something that he was talking at and everything. So he was fun as hell.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah. I won't even start listing off all the stuff he's amazing in because it's everything.
Right.
But he's done so much work, and obviously he had Candyman and whatnot, but he was in the remake of Night of the Living Dead. So, I mean, he already had solid horror credentials, so getting him in this film was like a real attraction for the fandom.
And he's the one here who's basically explaining the movie to us.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit of a, I don't know what the word is for it. It's not exposition, but there's, it's almost like you introduce new evidence later on that it feels a little cheap, but at the same time, it's fine.
And I've always liked that they maintained a sort of ambiguity about his character.
Is this the midpoint of the movie? I would think.
Yeah.
Okay. Where the main character finds out, the
secrets of
the
everything.
Secrets, and that kind of changes the course of the story.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like it's always been nice that they maintained an ambiguity about his character, that people can kind of speculate because he comes up from like the bowels of this mortuary or whatnot. It's like maybe he's death, or maybe he's the devil, or something like that, or something. You can read any kind of supernatural stuff into it. You can just read into just that this guy knows very morbid stuff. It's fun.
But it works on every level.
It works on every level. It allows him to play the role very fun. You can tell he's absolutely loving what he's doing. You can just chew it up enough. They kind of soak in the kind of the spookiness of it all.
Yeah.
So he's
shout out
fantastic.
to the coffee beanery having an espresso here. Cheers to you.
Yeah.
Everyone having a cup, myself included, right now. Now, this is really such a cool idea.
Yeah.
That, they cheated, and now it's coming back for them.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool.
Yeah.
And it really does make sense that they could do this over and over again, almost anthology-like.
Yeah.
Until they ran out of good ideas.
Yeah.
I know you really like the fifth one.
The fourth one, I think, is horrible.
And I don't remember off the top of my head. I've blocked out what the fourth. What is the premise of the fourth one? What is the disaster that?
Fourth. It was in the NASCAR.
Oh Jesus! Yes.
Yeah.
Why did you remind me?
You asked. And I get into it. Not getting into it.
Maybe we should do it. Just because
we got to build ourselves up to that point.
I mean, we have noticed that we have more fun the worse the movie is.
Yeah. I mean, let's take it a film at a time.
We're coming up on a scene here that really just shakes the whole audience to their core.
Yeah.
I remember what's really cool about working in a movie theater is you get to experience the movie, and then, if you choose, you can go in and watch other people experience the movie.
React to the
right,
moments.
Right. And so we're coming up on a scene here where I distinctly remember, like, going back in and being present for this and watching everyone jump and or cheer hysterically. Yeah. Like, this Carter dude, what an asshole, right?
Blaring 9-inch nails, driving around his muscle car.
Oh, they were 9-inch was hot, right?
Yeah. There's the thing, is like all the characters end up converging here by happenstance.
Right.
In other scripts, that's plot convenience, that's contrived, but here it flows with the entire consciousness of whatever's going on here to kind of breeze the winds of fate in
because
certain
it brought them
directions.
together.
Yeah.
Right. So there's actually a reason for it. Even if you don't understand the reason.
Mm-hmm.
And they also foreshadowed it with the window.
Yeah.
Oh! Whammy!
And the big thing is, I've seen other things like TV shows or other films try to do that same thing, and they just don't pull it off. Whatever it is, with just how they hit the timing of it. Whether it's the framing or the blocking. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
This does it better than anyone else has ever done before.
Ever.
Done it afterwards is what I'm saying. Because no one else did it before this that I know of.
The quick bus.
Yeah, just walk into the street and just get hit out of nowhere. Maybe sometimes they just frame it too wide so it seems too obvious that you're setting up.
I think something
else is happening.
What's really great about it is that the camera didn't move.
Yeah.
So it's quick, but then also it's the camera's stationary and you see her.
The character.
You see her, and then you see the bus, and then you see the splatter.
Yeah.
It doesn't watch her get dragged along. There isn't screeching tires.
Yeah.
There's not.
It's just sudden impact, cut.
It's almost like you are the character of one of them on the sidewalk, watching the whole thing, as opposed to a camera moving around.
Yeah, instead of filmmakers trying to consciously set you up for a moment.
Right.
Which I think is probably why other instances that other people have done with that same sort of setup don't work quite as well.
I love this.
Yeah.
This is exactly the kind of stuff that makes me go, ooh. So neat. I mean, they really put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah. It's very carefully crafted.
And the Blu-ray is not nice to Devon Sawa's acne.
No, it's not.
It's very prominent.
All over his forehead.
It's
in clear still.
That's, it's unfortunate. And she's like, I gotta go.
Yeah. It's a little bit different from most horror films where it's more kind of a pretty compressed time period of where things kind of domino effect throughout the whole film. This feels like definitely weeks have gone by and whatnot because they erected the statue for a memoriam.
They did say...
So this is going through the entire a month or two or whatnot. The entire summer's gone by and things are starting to pick up again.
They did say during that ceremony that it had been 39 days.
Yeah.
So...
This is the other end of the summer. Earlier, Clear said autumn is coming.
The old cordless phones that everyone had.
Now no one even has a landline.
My mom still has a landline.
Okay, well.
I guess they do still exist. Everyone wants you to bundle your home and your internet and your
cable.
Cable, yeah.
Check the entire price.
That's funny. So I guess it is FBI. She said agent.
Yeah.
Something or other. Now, nobody's going to go in the house and talk to the woman? They're just going to take him away suspiciously? And, I mean, great idea of, he knows the sequence, and they think he's crazy.
Yeah.
Because adults know better.
They think he's a psychopath. He's like he's almost like Rod Lane in Elm Street.
Yeah.
A little while, it's like this person died in this way that this guy says seems impossible, but you're the only suspect, and you're the guy who's going to go out and get snagged next. So it's like, I feel the film has a little, not intentional kind of thread through like that, but you can kind of, again, the familiar elements with a fresh twist type of thing.
Yeah. This is, John Denver got a hell of a paycheck, or at least his estate did, because I think he was already dead at this point.
Yeah, I think he died in the 90s, the plane accident.
Right. Which was the whole point of that being the song.
Yeah.
Which doesn't quite work in the other films, because there's...
Yeah.
You can't pull up a song about a roller coaster, or...
Yeah.
You know, or a highway crash.
Yeah.
But, you know...
They could have thrown a Skinner track in this one, you know.
Well...
Sadly.
I think, you know, Denver had just died.
Yeah, so it's fresher.
Fresh, yeah. I like this. It really makes you wonder, like, man, is death out to get me?
Mm-hmm.
And here we're going to come upon another sequence of stuff where you're like, oh, is this how she's going to get it?
Yeah.
Or is that how she's going to get it?
Yeah.
And then it's
all the little things in the sequence.
That could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The potential danger it was totally mundane stuff, but once your heightened senses kick in, everything just seems like a danger.
Right, because at this point, the audience is now conditioned to like, be on the lookout.
Yeah. Yeah, so she gets this weird sort of a reflection thing going on there, and a little breeze going on.
And they really exploit this in later films,
Mm-hmm.
where they've conditioned the audience to be like, "Oh, is it going to be that?" Or and then you find yourself holding your breath as these scenes take place. But here it was still fresh.
Yeah.
You know, and the Todd character, you know, his was like sudden and gruesome.
Yeah.
This one is slightly more contrived.
Yeah.
Even the bus was kind of quick and sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Quick and sudden. How about that for?
Yeah. What's nice because they're intercutting the two sequences here, where he's kind of trying to warn them and everything that this is happening. So it is building up dread that this character knows almost for a fact that this Miss Luton is going to be the one taken out, and he can't convince these guys because they think he's just nuts. Meanwhile, it's actually happening in the background, more or less, of the story.
And I mean, how crazy does he sound saying?
Yeah, it's like out of my control. It's like almost like a psychopath with an impulse to kill. That's what these guys are looking at this guy like.
And how convenient that he's going to pull out and she's going to die.
Yeah.
And here, there, you know, it's like the thread of doubt. And some funny little dialogue.
Yeah.
Because you need a couple of bumbling cops, right?
Yeah. I mean, these two guys aren't really
they're
terribly charismatic or anything. They don't really hold much attention on screen, but they work all right.
They're stiffs.
Yeah.
I mean, they're...
Yeah. I mean, and considering this was envisioned as like an X-Files thing, you can see that FBI agents would have been like Mulder and Scully and whatnot, which would have been a completely different dynamic in the whole run of things. So
there you go.
Here they decided just like, well, we're not really going to have to... We're going to steer as far away from that as possible and not make any sort of illusion like that. So they make them just as kind of white bread nothingness.
Maybe I should just grab a bottle and veg out with you, right?
Nice and loaded.
Right.
Put some bars in the windows. They'll keep death out.
Look at that sword on the door. Like, what kind of shit is that?
Swords. See, this is great. You can't do this today. Flat screens and everything.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that monitor was like an old tube television set.
What she got a stained glass window and oh well. Actually, that's the last thing you're supposed to do.
Pull the glass out?
Yeah, if you get stabbed, don't pull it out. That's just going to make you bleed out.
Yeah, now you got to stick a thumb in there or something,
Yeah.
right?
Burning leaves. I don't think that's legal places anymore.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think I've ever seen anyone burn leaves.
Really?
I don't think so.
I have.
Bonfires I've seen.
Oh, I've burned leaves.
Hmm.
It used to be legal in my town when I was a kid,
Hmm.
and there are sections of, there is a section of my town that's unincorporated. Would that really happen? I mean, is vodka combustible like that? I mean, I know it's an alcoholic beverage, but
Combustible, I doubt it. I mean, you could probably make a Molotov cocktail, but it's just gonna create a blaze. I don't think it's really gonna blow up the place.
right. And
Oh,
awesome, just awesome. And the sword in the door is the
yeah the foreshadowing aspect.
now he's going to contaminate the crime scene.
Yep.
Because if you walk in, who's going to believe that this happened without interference, right?
I mean, there's nothing you're going to be able to do.
And the chair pushes it in. That's so good. She gone.
And he puts his hand on the fucking blade.
And then he pulls it out.
Oh.
And guess what? They're going to walk in and now he's got fingerprints and the whole thing. He's fucked.
Yeah.
And the blood would burn into the floor.
Boom.
That seems a little excessive too, right?
Yeah.
Like, was there a gas leak? Did she have the stove on?
She had the stove on for the pot.
Yeah, but not like the oven.
No.
She just had the burner on.
Yeah. I don't think there was a point where the pilot light went out or anything, and even then, it's not long enough for it to fill up with that much gas.
Shrek. Agent Shrek.
Shrek. He's not a green monster.
And that was 2001, I think. Shrek.
Unless it's a call back to like Max Shrek or something like that.
Okay, could be
because they got Billy Hitchcock and a few other. I think there was intention. Of throwing some old like horror directors or thriller directors into the.
Well, that makes sense
of the
then.
Cast, so
that works.
So I think that was the idea. But Green Ogre, voiced by Mike Myers, was at the time too. Just slightly after this or something. I don't know. I never saw him, so I don't know when they came out exactly.
I want to say it was 01.
Sounds about right.
And here is another convenient joining of the forces, I guess. Oh, she asked everyone to meet. So good. What kind of car is this? Did you pay attention?
No.
This guy's such a dick.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a well-written character.
Yeah. But in a lot of ways, he's a dick because he's angry about all this and frustrated
and scared.
He doesn't know how to cope with it, and so the only way he has is just to lash out about things.
I feel like, well, I was going to say, I feel like maybe it's closed off because it's an accident investigations, but maybe there'd be people there telling them, no, you can't go.
Yeah,
but it's hard to tell how far along it is, like you were saying.
Well, like you said earlier, at least when they did the memoriam, it was
over a month.
Over a month, yeah. So, probably at least 40 some odd, maybe 50 days afterwards by now. So a lot of these investigations go on for eons.
Years sometimes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the ocean is big.
Yeah.
It's deep.
Mm-hmm.
There are currents that will take pieces far and away.
Yeah.
But, like, how crazy is it have you seen, like, how they get a big warehouse and they have all the pieces and they, reconstruct and you're like, man, how did you find this little piece and know where it went? Like doing a model.
Yeah.
And this is her dad? Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Dad blew his head off.
Or got blown. Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Stepdad.
Yeah, so.
So, needless to say, she's 17 or 18 and now living alone in a house by herself.
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of get into the what if scenarios too, which everyone can relate to, which I think is super cool. I think this movie is very relatable.
Yeah.
Even though it's supernatural.
It has grounded emotional elements, and the entire thing's cast fantastically. You've got really solid writers who've had a lot of experience writing a lot of good television before this. And everyone's fleshed out. They've got their different dynamics, how they deal with different situations. I mean, she carried just as much weight as anyone else in the whole film. She does it wonderfully.
Yeah. Todd with one D is also weird. Why do they spell everything weird?
Well, we've got Tony Todd in the film with 2 Ds.
Well, yeah, but so, he's got 2 first names, which is awful. But it's better than 2 last names. And all of them are better than hippie names like Clear Rivers.
Clear.
Well, you're not, because the Jets will never win a Super Bowl. Little did he know that 20 years later, he'd still be waiting. Because the Jets are terrible. Carter. He's got 2 last names. He definitely has control issues, the character does, which is awesome.
And definitely from early on where he's saying, telling Sawa's character, Alex, like, you don't control me. You don't control my life. He's very much a guy like he wants to be in control of his own life.
Right.
And so, like, probably nothing that's, like, stated or whatnot about his family life or something like that, but he probably has. They probably, like, built it up with the actor or whatnot. It's like, this is probably how your life has been with your family. Maybe his father pushes him to go into, like, sports or whatnot or something like that. It's like, you have to follow what your father wants you to do or stuff like that. You'd probably imagine that's where the motivation of the character comes from.
Yeah, who knows how much backstory they wrote.
Yeah. All depends on the filmmaker, what they're doing with the actors, whatnot, how they want to communicate the character's personality and such.
There was a little premonition there.
Yeah.
And they still throw in some little comedic elements, which are great.
Yeah.
And I feel like all horror movies do that. Like, they have this great balance of...
It breaks the tension. When you're doing it right, you break at the right moments in time. And it's also a coping mechanism for some people.
Absolutely.
You're in this tense, terrifying situation. Only thing you can do to cope with it is crack a joke or something.
I mean, this is kind of a cool sequence, too, where he's basically given up and said, I'm
ready to just
accept my fate, right?
Yeah.
And there's our premonition with the metro train there.
And it's great showing that death goes in a certain order. You can't just force yourself into this thing. If you're in this situation where you've cheated death and kind of gone around the cheated things and you've created this new design and everything, you can't force yourself into it. It's going to come around for you when it chooses to come around for you.
Right.
So the car swerves in different ways to get away from the trucker and everything. So, and then that's great, clever type of stuff in the screenplay.
And I feel like this train scenario is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. This is one of the best sequences here, too. And it's great for the character, this whole thing.
And we do have a little bit of a plot twist here, don't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Some bad acting there out of him, but whatever. It's fine.
He's
an idiot. He's the village idiot.
Yeah. He's the least mature one of the whole group. Character doesn't really grasp situations.
And he's having the "I don't really want to die" moment right here.
Wait, just gets that close. It's like no, this is not right.
And what an interesting camera shot here, too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those where, I don't think they actually got out of the way. You know what I mean? It was a little too quick of a cut.
Yeah. But it's a great sequence because this film has, with the way it set things up, no one is actually safe.
Mm-hmm.
So you can believe these two guys could get it here, and plus they build up Clear's character well enough that you could easily transition to her being the front runner of the rest of the film if they wanted to take that turn.
This is so great. And
goodbye.
The fact that he stood there for a second before he went over is amazing. A D. Oh, it's like he wet his pants. You see that? I never noticed that before.
No.
Wow, I never noticed that he wet his pants before. That's hilarious. Also, I feel like it's hard to do a decapitation, but when you pull it off, it's really effective.
Oh, yeah.
Because sometimes it's cheesy.
Yeah.
But if it's done right, It's really good. And that one was really good.
Yeah, yeah.
All the deaths so far in this are great. And
yeah.
it ended up being, the franchise was predicated, like, let's just write a story where we can do some fun deaths.
Yeah.
As opposed to let's tell a good story, which this one is a good story.
Yeah.
Almost like the Nightmare franchise, again.
Yeah. It got more spectacle and less substance.
Right. More sizzle and less steak.
This is great. I love this whole thing.
Of, like, baby-proofing their house?
Now we're just gone full tilt.
But, I mean, it's actually a logical step of what the characters would do. Even if it's overreaction, it's still reaction.
Yeah.
And it's good. That's not going to hold, pal.
No.
FYI. John Benet Ramsey on the newspaper clipping there.
Oh, there you go.
It was probably fun to work on the set decoration here, right?
Yeah.
This is good stuff. The gloves. It's like you almost expect them to all have on, like, football pads and... He's afraid of even, like, cutting his finger on the little cocktail wieners or whatever these are here.
Gross.
I don't even know what it is. Is it like pudding? What are you eating, kid?
I don't think he really cares for it.
He's really sweaty. Is he by himself in this endeavor?
I think so. I think he's figured out
Oh,
that
he's at the cabin, right? The dad's...
Yeah. Oh, I think he's figured out he's the next in line.
Oh, okay. That's a song, right? It's the last in line.
The last in line.
Last in line.
Little Ronnie, James Dio.
How awesome is that? This is so good. It's so much fun. And I can't believe he went around and baby-proofed his house and didn't take care of fish hooks. Like, I don't know. Do you ever go fishing?
No.
You're not a fishing
No.
person? Okay. So, I grew up fishing, and I've taken a fish hook to the hand or the whatever. That shit hurts. Because they're like puncture wounds, and puncture wounds hurt like a son of a bitch.
I like that he's talking. He's not just talking. He's definitely getting to the crazy talk now. He's talking to death as if it's a person.
In the room with him. Yeah.
Call him you fuck. Just funny.
Good comedic element. Yeah. And this is her house. Is that what we're
I'm guessing
thinking?
so. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's Dad with a fish hook. All right, got it. '86. She would have been 10 in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the movie, though, she would have only been like
5 or 6.
3, 4, because she's supposed to be 18 here.
Yeah.
I mean, she was born in 82-ish.
Mm-hmm.
There's old Mulder and Scully there in the car.
I think that this is the point where you realize what he overlooked with all the trading, everyone trading seats and everything.
Right.
And since they got off the plane, they didn't start shuffling everyone around or something like that. He was looking at their original assigned seats, not where they ended up in the premonition.
Right. No, I think it was the other way around. I think he was looking at the... I don't know. You're right. We get it.
Yeah. He had it backwards.
He had it backwards. That's right. Live wire.
Shocker!
God, I love Shocker. Check it out in the archives right now. Yeah. We're on the YouTube page. It's there. He's gonna go Camp Crystal Lake on us here.
Don't go too far out. Jason will jump out of the lake and grab you.
That's right. We didn't find any boy. I always got a kick out of. They showed the cop cars racing away like
those Eiffel Towers she had there.
Well, she was on her way to France. She's clearly a Francophile.
She's already got souvenirs.
She was ready to go. There's a gross pool out there. I was gonna say I like the cop cars in the 80s, and it's like a stereotypical thing to have Ford Explorers or Broncos be cop cars, which I think is interesting because they get terrible gas mileage. Where is he going? Is he just going to go? Is it? I mean, I guess so. If you're trying to outrun the cops, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you're just buying time, why not stay on the canoe in the middle of the lake?
Well, he's realized that Clear is the one who's next, so he's trying to get to her to keep her safe.
To save her, right.
Yeah.
Fritz. The dog's name is Fritz.
It's not a dog name. What's that? Fritz Lang? I don't know.
Uh-oh. You got a puncture wound on a swimming pool there. She did say that it was only a little ways away, right? Ow, that would hurt. Yeah, with the rocks and the... hey! A little foreshadowing to the next film where there's a great stick sequence coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
Here we've got water and electricity.
Oh, yeah.
That poor doggo probably would have been fried. And it was directed by a guy named Wong, so maybe he was like, oh, let's fry up a dog.
Oh, jeez.
No? All right.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe not. If a tree falls in the forest...
Oh.
Holding him down
full of
to gurgle?
Rainwater.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like drowning would be one of the worst ways to go.
Oh, yeah. Well, boiled in oil.
Oh, come on.
You can get some old boiled in oil. Just came to mind. I'm thinking
like sleepaway camp?
Bad ways to die. Just dip you in a vat of boiling oil.
Where do you come up with this shit?
Said drowning was one of the worst ways to die. I was trying to think what a bad ways to die.
You had to be a topper.
Now I'm drowning and I'm burning alive.
You turned it to 11.
And I'm gonna have a nice glaze over me when I'm done.
Right. Yeah.
Christmas ham.
That's right. Deep fried. Tempura. It's Wong, remember? What the hell is that? Your TV doesn't explode. Your room doesn't explode.
This is turning into Shocker.
It is, yeah.
Traveling through the electricity.
Yeah, so get in the car. I guess the car is grounded with the rubber tires.
Yeah.
And they do have this great sequence again of like little things that could be her ultimate peril.
Yeah.
Turpentine.
Ah.
Also flammable. I think. What happened to the dog?
Yeah, this is a great sequence. I mean, it's tense.
It is tense. There's a lot going on, though. I feel like it's a little much.
Maybe.
But at the same time, the movie has gotten progressively more elaborate with the death-defying, so to speak. Oh, see, he even said grounded by the tires. I didn't know that was coming. That was just me being logical.
But it's almost like you can almost see it as like maybe like the entity of death as these people continue to sort of circumvent it.
Right.
Becomes a little bit more insistent on ways of getting at them.
Fool me twice, shame on me, right?
Yeah.
Death says,
These effects are great.
They really are. And I feel like this is before the fun with computers era.
There's
still obviously some lighting and some whatever, but I feel like they're actually reacting to real things.
There's a lot of... Yeah, I think it's just augmented digitally in a lot of cases, probably. But...
Like that wire, or maybe it's just a garden hose, but it's actually there.
Yeah.
There isn't as much pretending. Whoa. I love people getting completely blown back like that.
Yeah. I mean, this had a nice sized budget, about $23 million at the time, so it's like they had a...
Well, here was 10 of it right here in this scene.
But yeah, I mean, they had enough to really get some solid effects without stretching themselves thin.
She called him baby just there. Hey. It is interesting that they didn't make it a love interest.
Well, I think there was like an alternate ending where they were intending to cheat death by having a kid together or something like that, which I don't think would have been earned. So
that doesn't follow the rules.
Oh no, not that. I just feel they feel more like friends, not love interests, like as you said.
Well, I just feel like there was an opportunity for them to make it a love interest.
Do something more like that, yeah. And by evidence that she looks so much different here, this is all reshoots.
Well, they said it was 6 months later, so they just probably augmented the...
But Ali Larter definitely looks like she's dropped a little bit of weight.
I see what you're saying.
And her hair is completely different now.
That they rewrote the ending
that they probably shot the whole film with the original ending, and she went off and did something else and changed her look up a little bit, and then 4 or 5 months later they decided test screening happened, and they're going to rejigger the ending of the film, so they brought everyone back.
And how is Carter still alive at this point? The biggest asshole of all of them. I mean, I get it that they saved his life, so it skipped over him or something. But like everyone, the entire audience is waiting for his comeuppance. Right?
A little bit. I mean, with him, I feel like, at least for me and whatnot, when he kind of realizes himself in that moment inside the car, when the train's coming at him, he definitely takes a turn and. they soften him up here in this sequence that he's kind of gotten over the conflict,
his grudge,
the grudge, the conflict, all that type of stuff. He's kind of come out the other end of it.
Isn't it interesting that she looks even better here?
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's your
I mean, she looks great either way.
Oh, and here they are, definitely an item.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like is good. I'm glad they didn't...
They grow into it, yeah.
They didn't force that on us.
Mm-hmm. See, he's still obsessive over it all. They're probably thinking like, okay, well,
but we've moved on.
We averted it again, so it means like we're free and clear. What someone probably think, but he's probably thinking they think he's overthinking it, but no, he's still working at it because like this stuff it still comes back around. So.
See, and she brings up a good point.
Yeah.
Also, how weird would it be to actually get on a plane and fly to France?
Again,
right.
After, what is it, 8 months or something like that?
Right, less than a year.
Yeah.
And he's still the same old guy, right?
Yeah, he's still a little bit of the... Still got a little of the machismo.
And how does the guy in France know Rocky Mountain High? I mean, really.
Yeah. There we go.
And this is almost a... what is the Rube Goldberg device?
Yes.
The whole movie is one of those.
Yeah.
I don't remember what movie it was that we talked about those in. Maybe it was a couple different ones.
Yeah. Oh, it was Back to Future 3 where Doc had the elaborate ice machine back in the Wild West.
Yep. I was going to say, I think Trent was with us.
Yeah, it was fairly recent. And now she's seeing the premonition.
Look out, there go the baguettes. I mean, and then it spells out 180, which is the flight number, which is awesome.
Oh,
and
nice!
What a great cut to end the movie on. And then we got some great early 2000s like rock.
There's some band we've never heard of.
Bloodworth was the guy's name.
William Bloodworth. That's wonderful.
Yeah, this music is so early 2000s.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. It's fun.
I mean, yeah, it is fun. It's clever. It's smart. There's so many... Like, again, like I was saying, the sequels end up being more about how can we make a creative death out of it.
Spectacle.
Whereas this one, like, as most part ones end up, being a really good story. And, if there weren't a good part one, you wouldn't end up with 35 sequels coming after it. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. And I think, both 2 and 3 hold up. And, I mean, they're silly, but they're fun. And I don't know. I think it works.
Yeah, this one made over like $100 million, so I mean, yeah.
Well, it was something kind of new, like we said, it hadn't really been done.
It came out kind of a quiet month in March, so it's a perfect time for like a sleeper hit to come out. Yeah.
Usually they put out horror films around Valentine's Day for date night.
Yeah. Which actually Scream 3 had taken that role the previous month.
This same year?
Yeah.
Okay.
It actually got delayed like 2 months from December to February. I remember.
Huh.
So
then
the first two Screams came out in December, and then for a reason they had to delay it.
This one may have gotten pushed then because of that.
It's possible. But they also had, like I said, the reshoots and everything for the ending, so they had to delay things a slight bit too.
Right. So they might have been shooting for February.
Yeah.
And then ended up having to
just getting out
delay.
of the way a little bit, get some space to breathe, which worked out.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, and like you said, there's not a lot going on in March and April.
Especially back then, yeah. These days, things get a lot more congested with $200 million movies all the time.
Yeah, there were. I mean, we were in the era here in 2000 of where it was definitely ramping up, and there were a lot more releases than there were even,
5 years previous, whatever.
Right. It was kind of the let's just make any old movie and people will come see it.
Yeah.
But now it's 3 times even more.
Yeah.
Per capita.
Yeah.
That it's so hard. Like, your movie's dead by Friday night if you don't, have a good
you
showing.
project it from the first day of release. Sometimes even from Thursday screenings and whatnot, the Thursday night preview screenings.
Right, and then if you don't have a good Thursday night or a good Friday afternoon, you might be completely screwed for your whole run.
Yep.
It wasn't quite like that here in March of 2000.
Yeah.
They didn't know what they had, and I remember it being a popular movie, and being, selling. It had legs, as they say in the business. Yeah. And you said it ended up at over 100 million?
Yeah, about 112, something like that.
That makes it a blockbuster, right? Yeah. At the time, that was the definition of blockbuster.
Yeah, about 80 million profit.
I mean, no wonder they made another one.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you keep making sequels until you at least break even?
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain High, written by John Denver. And there's old T-Rez.
The French version.
Oh! Performed by Alessandro
Giuliani.
Only 5 songs, and 2 of them were the same. Wow. Space Cam. There were some cool crane shots in this movie.
Oh yeah, it's really well shot.
The Penthouse magazine from 1997. I did not have that issue.
Nah. Fujifilm.
Mr. Fuji, also a famous dog cooker.
Master Fuji.
No animals were harmed in the making of the movie, so we're fine.
They shot it up in Canada, British Columbia, which was pretty much the thing to do at the time. Canada
had so much better, tax breaks, and
deal with the unions too.
I mean, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, to this day, they're hot filming towns.
I mean, pretty much everything on the CW gets shot in Vancouver.
That's right. So yeah, this is fun little ride. So thanks for departing with us.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be doing the next film and the film after that.
Yeah.
So guys, just let us know if you had fun, and we'll be back with more.
Sounds good. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.